lift live, so if you're watching after, you're gonna have to probably skip forward a little bit. We're gonna wait a little bit before we get into the good stuff. Let some people hop on. If you haven't seen it already, definitely check out yesterday's lives. Josh, that camera guy, came up from New Jersey. He made the, I want to say it's like 7 hours round trip. So I appreciate him making the trip. He came up. We did a whole bunch of filming. We did the pre-lift live. We did a labyrinth tour. That's a tour of the dragon. I mean, I was thinking of the trophy. That's a tour of the labyrinth. Looks like we got some people in the chat. Senior Pliskin. I'm pretty sure that's Brian. I think he changed the before it came up as your name, Brian, but now I think you might have changed it to your YouTube. Josh, what's up, man? We were just talking about saying thanks for making the 7-hour round trip, so I appreciate that. We got some good film. We even got I think it's like a 2.5-hour video of our arm wrestling practice. We did some cool stuff. We had some great training in. We even messed around with the Thomas Inch dumbbell. That's up there. Adam Brooks says, I'm glad I was able to bring up the term quotations bully strap up for a learning lesson with a laughing face. It's definitely true. I appreciate that, Adam. The bully strap is something you know. If you know, you know. And if not, you'll find out, you know. Let's see. That camera size, Josh says, YouTube keeps changing that, LO. Yes, sir, we did. Yeah, we did. We got a bunch of film. And he says, I have damn near half a terabyte of footage. So I know that's a lot. Terabyte is what? Is that 100 gigabytes? If I'm not isn't that 100 gigabytes? But yeah, we got some good film. Oh, 1,000 gigs. Oh, very impressive. Very impressive. Brian says, yeah, I don't know why my name isn't coming up anymore. Weird. I'll look at my profile. It could be a thing YouTube is doing because Josh is not saying his name anymore. It's just saying his that camera guy 98. So it could be YouTube. Could be a YouTube thing. Josh says that's all YouTube. Yeah, that makes sense. YouTube is always, changing stuff and doing different things. Adam says, love the pink cup, bro. Brings out your eyes. It definitely does. That's, I've been using a lot, so it's wearing out, but that's why we like it. Brings out the eyes. Brian says, how many memory cards did you use, Josh? He didn't have, I forgot the name of it, but he didn't have a memory card. It was like this big corresponder middle thing. But Josh says 2,256 SD cards. That's quite a lot. Let's see, that's quite a lot. Brian, how you feeling from being in the bully strap? Anything feeling off or anything. You know what I mean? Beat up or anything. Let's see. Brian says, nice. The camera has 2 shots, question mark. Oh, 2 slots. Oh, I read that wrong. It looks like an H. Josh says no 2 SD cards at 256 gigs apiece. Adam says time for a East versus West Stone match. I definitely appreciate that. I think it's only a matter of time. You know, I just got to keep training and getting stronger, and you know, got to get out there a little more. You know. Brian says, nah, I feel fine. My elbow actually feels a little better than, the comments, I gotta scroll up a little bit. Better than the day before, so probably good blood flow there. Oh, that's good. That's good. Yeah, bully strap is definitely good at applying that back pressure, pronation pressure. You know, it's definitely real good at that. I would like to try to find a way to use the bully strap to mimic someone that is going heavy, you know, side pressure, heavy wrist flexion. You know what I mean? So I feel like the bully strap attacks mostly my wrist flexion. You know what I mean? Because it's got that, you know, because it really locks in your pronation. But I'm always trying to figure out a way to, you know, set something up like a bully strap that mimics more of a offensive move or position that, you know, will allow that, you know, like a side pressure hook position. But it's interesting. It's interesting. Adam says they can only hide for so long. That's definitely true, man. That's definitely true. You know, especially with all these new promotions out there, it's gonna be even less. You know, more and more matches out there. Josh says, yes, sir. I have to set it to relay records, so when the first card is full, it seamlessly transitions to the second card. So I'm talking about fancy camera, gets the job done. Brian says, how you feeling? You were redlining, bro. I definitely feel sore, but I feel pretty good. Mostly my my wrist, my fingers. The thing that's definitely the sorest is, I mean, I've been complaining about it for a little bit, but these 2 fingers are really sore. I really felt it on the when we went over the Thomason's dumbbell, but it's good. You know, mostly I say mostly my wrist. You know, fingers not too bad, but I guess mostly wrist. I don't really notice the fingers until I go to, you know, really squeeze something. But yeah, it was good. It was good. But I am curious if there's a way to set the bully strap up where, you know, they can, instead of, you know how you have to lean backwards in like an outside move to keep the bully strap, you know, tight. I wonder if there's a way to set it up where you can lean the other way and it still apply pressure, if that makes sense. Brian says, I thought for sure my shoulder would be jacked up because I felt something in there the very first pull, but all good. Oh, that's good. That's good. Maybe it was just like a air pocket or a nitrogen pocket or something, a little air bubble in the joint or something. Hopefully that's all it was, but definitely good. It's all good. Josh says, I haven't felt like this in a long time. Them back to back workouts are brutal. Yeah, definitely are. Um, you said you arm wrestled Sunday, so that's you're in 2 weeks. You're in 2 times a week now, Josh. So you might as well keep that momentum going and practice twice a week now. You don't want to slow down. So you might as well table time twice a week now, since you already pretty much started. Um, but I think that's a good idea. You know, Josh says, "LOL." uh, yeah, starting up twice a week is definitely there's like a transition time. Josh says, "Bully." Oh, I'm trying to help in a good way, but you never know. You never know. Um, but yeah, yesterday was good. It was a good day. Um, I learned a lot too. Josh, he put some of his camera's knowledge on the line and taught me some stuff. Definitely learned a lot. Um, what um, what else can we talk about? Anything? We did the Thomason's dumbbell. If you want to see if anyone lifted it, you're gonna have to watch the live. I think it's probably about an hour and a half, 2 hours in. Uh, Josh says we have to keep calling out Shaw or Brandon Allen. Yeah, we could definitely do that. We could definitely do that. So if Brian Shaw or Brandon Allen are watching, I can't see how many people we have in live because I gotta, my phone's a little busted. There's a little crack in the screen, but if they're watching, we should do a little arm wrestling. Maybe it'll be fun. I think it will be fun. But what do you guys think? You think those matches will be good? I know we talked a little bit about it before, but how do you guys see that match going? Brian versus I, or Brandon versus I. Um, it could be very interesting. Could be very interesting. Um, I could be wrong, but I think style-wise, I think if it's just pure style, I think my styles match up better against their styles. I could be wrong. Josh says we will find out after the first go. We definitely will. We definitely will. And speaking of Brian Shaw, you guys know I don't know if you remember, but I was the first ever Shaw Classic champion arm wrestling competitor, the first one in history. So maybe that's something we could add to the storyline. You know what I mean? Um, the second guy is Shane Owens. Shane Owens. I don't know if you guys ever saw that, but we had at the first World Strongest Man in Colorado. There was two arm wrestling matches. I just happened, I was on the first day, so that's why I joke around and say I was, the first one ever, because I just happened to be, scheduled to be on Friday instead of Saturday, or vice versa, Saturday instead of Sunday. Um, yeah, that's something fun to talk about. But yeah, we were like a halftime show kind of thing. Um, so like what happened was they did the strongman, they did a couple events, And while they were cleaning up the stage, setting it up, giving the athletes, break, the strongman athletes, we had a super match. That's where I pulled Austin Yeagers. Shane Owens pulled Lawless. I have a hard time with the European names, Lawless Valetin or something. But it was a good time. It was a good time. Josh says you have the crown. It has to mean something. It definitely has to mean something, you know. Brian says, "Yep, reigning champ gets a crack at Brian." That definitely seems. That seems like it seems fair to me. It definitely seems fair. I'll even put that little trophy plaque thing up on the line if Brian wants to have the first one, if he wants to try to win the first one. So Muhammad has he said you're the best a couple times. I appreciate that. And he says you play rugby. I do not play rugby. Actually, I never played a game of rugby. I've seen it, but I don't know the full rules. But it's interesting. But I don't play rugby. But what I do is I do some arm wrestling. So this is an arm wrestling channel. Even powerlifting. I used to be a powerlifter, so we can talk about powerlifting stuff. But right now, I'm an arm wrestler. Let's see. Josh says, just remember, chat, Nick goes over every comment, so give him time to reply. Yeah, I definitely appreciate that, guys. A little bit of might be a little bit of what you call a slow reader, but there's also a delay. Sometimes I don't get the messages instantly. I think there's like a 10 or 20-second delay. But I do appreciate the comments. Definitely appreciate you guys watching. What? Let's see. Josh says 20-second delay. Yeah, it definitely makes sense. It definitely makes sense. Josh, I know you said you haven't felt like, this sore in a while, but what's sore the most? Is it elbows? Is it shoulders? Wrist? If I had to guess, I would say maybe elbows from the way you were pulling, but maybe I could be wrong. So Muhammad says, "What am I supposed to ask you?" Maybe if you have any arm wrestling questions, maybe. If you're curious about arm wrestling, maybe this is your first time hearing about arm wrestling. So arm wrestling questions are great. Powerlifting questions are great. Gym training, weightlifting questions are great. Anything like that. But I'm open to other things, Josh says, "Where's the homie Drew? Where you at, Drew?" Where is he? Maybe he's what time? I know he's in Vegas or Nevada. Are they? I can't remember if they're ahead. I think they're be. It's earlier there, right? Or behind us. I can't remember. But maybe he's sleeping. Maybe he's sleeping. Val says hi. What's up, Val? But today's training. So after when I hop off this live, today's training. Since I'm not going to Massachusetts today, I think it's going to be a heavier heck internal rotation, some triceps probably. I gotta double check the book, but I'll probably do some benching. Starting to put bench press back in. It's taking me. I mean, I'm feeling way better now, and right now I can definitely feel that the missing muscle in my tricep is starting to fill back in. You know what I mean? Like a lizard arm. Um, I think it might have been about. It could be about 2 years now, but definitely a year. It might be coming up on 2 years now. But I ripped my tricep down the middle. It's just a weird. It was a very unique tear. It didn't rip at the tendon. It split instead of ripping. Say these are muscle fibers, and instead of ripping this way, the muscle fibers ripped this way, so it's split down the middle. So my left tricep, I have a little, gap all the way down. But I'm slowly feeling the muscle starting to come back now, which is good. Which I can definitely tell that when I'm benching. So I was missing some, the very end range of motion, the extensions. So it was, even if I was going light, I had a hard time keeping the bench press, you know, even, but now it's starting to feel pretty good. I mean, I'm only working with I think last week I was just repping out 225, nothing crazy, but it feels good. It feels like I'm able to really contract that left tricep. Um, Josh says, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. I definitely agree. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. Um, Definitely appreciate it. It helps the YouTube grow. So Muhammad says, what muscles do you mostly use in arm wrestling? Well, it is a full body. It's everything, but um, the biggest things are definitely the hand, the wrist, the arm. I would say those would be the biggest things. I mean, the shoulder and the pec and stuff like that are extremely important too. Um, but yeah, definitely hand, wrist, and arm, shoulders. But you'd be surprised, Muhammad. I've known two people that have had some major leg injuries while arm wrestling because there's so much force going through their body, twisting that they twisted their knees apart. I knew one guy that tore his quad tendon off the bone arm wrestling. So that's that big tendon above your kneecap. And I knew another guy who ripped his meniscus in his knee from so much extreme force twisting. Um, the meniscus is like that. There's like a little cushion absorber thing in your knee, a little fluid thing. Um, But yeah, it also depends. I mean, if you want to get even deeper into that question, it also depends on your style. Like if you're there's different moves, different styles. Some people probably focus more on their hand, and some people probably focus more on their arm. Just depends on the style. A muscle that you probably hear, or a group of muscles. Some people may not know that the pronator is a group of muscles. But that the pronator is a muscle group, but you hear that word pronator muscle a lot. So that movement is very important in arm wrestling too. But I would also say even more. That's a tricky thing to say, but arm wrestling, um, equally as important, if not more important, are your tendons and your bones. It's a very unique strength. That's something interesting to think about. Let's see. Muhammad says, who usually wins arm wrestling competitions? MS. Who usually wins arm wrestling competitions? MS. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Mohammed. Maybe you just mean who usually wins arm wrestling competitions. I mean, whoever's the best on that day is gonna win. There's upsets and stuff like that all the time. Uh, the number one arm wrestler in the world right now is Levon Shaganishvili. He's the number one guy, so maybe that's another way to answer that question. But I'm not really sure what you mean, by that question. If you want to maybe ask it again in a different way, possibly, maybe I'll get what you mean. Um, oh, that's some interesting comment. Uh, let's see. Brian says Bill's getting pretty good at his regrip climb. Even when I had the height and riser strength, he's going over my fingers. It was pissing me off, lol. Oh, that's good. Yeah, Bill's he's definitely been leveling up lately. You know, um, it's definitely showing. He's now we just gotta get Bill at more tournaments. We just gotta get him at some tournaments and what I mean, stuff like that. But yeah, Bill's definitely getting good at his pronation and his riser is getting better. His climbs are getting a lot, harder to read. You know what I mean? It's harder to see his climbs. Just get better at climbing without people seeing it. Oh, another thing too is I don't know. I think I talked to Sailor about it, Brian, but I don't know if I talked to you about it. We might have. I can't remember. But uh, I'll be doing a recovery lift in the evening. Today, later today, tomorrow, and Friday, I'll be doing recovery lifts. I want to start doing another open gym. So Sunday is going to be. It's going to be hard training. And then the second open gym is going to be, it's going to be 50-50 depending on the week. It's either going to be a lighter recovery workout or a medium workout, which, I call medium workouts. Like it's challenging, um, but it's a lot more controlled, and I mean, especially with the amount of work everyone on that team has been doing. You'll be able to go pretty hard, but I call them medium workouts. But it's probably going to be this probably the next 3 days in the evening. They're going to be recovery lifts. I'm going to do my medium lifts in the morning. um, but yeah, let me know. Let me know if there's a day, one of those days, you guys want to come over and do a recovery lift. I'll probably put something in the group chat too. Um, we could also even do, after the workout, we can do a little arm wrestling too, depending on how you guys are feeling. Or before the workout, we do some arm wrestling, then the recovery workout after. Um, but yeah, let me know. Let me know. Another thing I would like to do with the bully strap is the one we have right now, the one we used last night, the figure eight, the circle strap that's folded to the figure eight. I would like to try to find a way where, like, say, on some of those matches when we pulled the person in the bully strap, is letting it, not, I shouldn't say letting it go, but the pin is happening because of pain and discomfort from that bully strap, digging in. And because I've personally never worn the bully strap. I've only ever been on the other end. But I do appreciate everyone making the sacrifice, because I know it's a big sacrifice, and I know it's a big risk, because the person that's wearing the bully strap, in my opinion, is at more risk of injury than the individual out of the bully strap. Because what that bully strap does is, it's like it adds horsepower to your frame, but it keeps your frame the same. So if anything is going to fail, it's going to be structural. Most likely, I mean, you definitely tear muscle, but what the bully strap allows you to do is to overload your muscle system and rely on the bully strap, but also the structure, so the bones and tendons. But the bones are definitely what is creating the force with the bully strap. So I definitely appreciate people making the sacrifice. Um, but I would like to make a way, a modification where we can have the bully strap where it's not painful for the person wearing it. I mean, it will still be, no matter what, there's going to be that risk. But if we can eliminate or minimize the pain, I feel like the person in the bully strap will be able to possibly do more things, you know, position wise, possibly, if that makes sense. Brian says, yeah, I'm down. I should get out a little early today and maybe Friday. I'll let you know. All right, cool. I'm not 100% sure on the time today that my second workout will be, but it would probably be around. I gotta double check the schedule, but it will probably be around maybe five. But I gotta double check the schedule. But yeah, let me know. Shoot me a message in the group chat or shoot me a text. Um, and if anyone else is listening and they want in, you guys can. You guys are invited. You just gotta train. That's all it is. You gotta train. You can't. No. If you're not training, if you're just, you know, you're gonna get kicked off the team. I'm not saying that. Brian or Sid, they know the rules. They train hard. They've been coming over Sundays. Just saying, if any new people want to try it out, if you gotta train. Now the recovery workouts, they're usually not that challenging, but you just got to do them. You just got to keep moving, keep doing them. Sometimes they're not the funnest. Sometimes they are really fun, but it depends. Well, got my lemon drink and all those lemon seeds you can't eat anymore, so you gotta spit them out. But that's what's happening. Oh, Carolyn, what's up? She says hashtag taking over. All right, that's what I'm talking about. It's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time. We got some momentum. The momentum is only going to build, and I'm excited. Carolyn, I don't know if I don't know if you heard about this or we talked about this. It's not locked in, but what it's looking like right now is our next Dungeon Super Series will be around December. But keep that in mind because I know you have a free entry. I think you have two, if I'm not mistaken. But you have I know for sure you definitely have one because I can't remember what you did, but you guessed something right, if I'm not mistaken. But keep that in mind if you're around in December, come on down to the dungeon because you got a free ticket to the in-person pay-per-view. If I'm not, I think you might even have two. So you're more than welcome to bring a guest because I think you have two. I think you won two. I think you won two prizes. Let's see. Kalen says, P.S. I heard Robert Oberst wants to go train at the Red Deer Club. The Red Deer Club, is that in Canada or is that in California? And then she says Robert Oberst versus Nic Stone. I'd definitely pull Robert Oberst. He looked pretty good. I think I didn't see all of it. I saw some of it when he pulled Eddie, but he looked for his first match. He looked pretty good. If I'm not mistaken, I think he's like 6'5", elite maybe. If I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I'd definitely pull Robert. You know, if Robert's listening and he wants to have a match, it could be fun. It could be fun. Um, let's see. Kaylin says, "Yay, Nick December. That is wonderful. I will try and be there." That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, it's not locked in. But I'm working on it. I'm working on it. Trying to get some matches. But it's gonna be good. So, Slug, what's up, man? He says, "What do you think about Hutchings versus Rackley? Again, played out." Um, I mean, personally, I like that match. I think those two athletes always have good matches. Um, if I'm not mistaken, I think Hutchings is up 2-0 in terms of the matches. Could be 1-1, but I think Hutchings won both. But yeah, I think it's a good. I mean, even if they do it every once a year, even more, I think it's a good match. I mean, both those guys have interesting styles. They're both incredible athletes, and when they meet up, they have absolute grinder of a match. And that's good for. I feel like that's a win-win for the fans. But yeah, that's how I feel about it. I know a lot of people are talk like what At least I've heard some people say, how come they're doing it, for a third time. But I think it's cool. Um, but yeah, that's my thoughts. Um, Kaylin says, "Thanks so much, Nick." Yeah, definitely. Anytime, anytime. Red Deer, Matt Mask, and Through the Fingers team all same. Oh, cool. All right, cool. That's what. Yeah, when I said Ken, I was like Matt Red Deer. I could have. I think that made me think of Matt, but I wasn't. Yeah, but also thought of I forgot that guy's name. I think he used to be a powerlifter, maybe strict curl, but he also did powerlifting. Uh, but yeah, that's a good team. That's a good team. If he goes up there with Matt and I forgot his name. Is it Brian from Through the Fingers? I should remember, but as you guys know, I'm terrible with the names. Um, Kaylin says, by the way, I saw Brian at practice yesterday with you pulling Josh first. I thought the old boy Farron and Maine be a good super match, 154. That is very interesting. That is very interesting. So you're talking about Brian from Connecticut on our team versus shoot, I forgot his first name. Is it Ed Farron? But I know who you're talking about. I do know who you're talking about. I'm terrible with names. As you can see, because I've met Mr. Farron many times, and his wife. They're both really cool people. Um, that could be a match. Brian, what's your weight at right now? You're under 154, aren't you? Carolyn says, "Sorry, back to work. LOL. Bathroom break. Haha." Oh well, I appreciate you. Hanging out with us while you can. Enjoy the rest of the day. Obi, what's OBY? Josh says OBY OB. Never thought of high as a potential match. Good one, Carolyn. Okay. Oh, him. Never thought of him as a potential match. Good one, Carolyn. Or are you talking about? Is she talking about Josh versus Farron? Either way, I think they could. Both those matches are interesting. Slug says, yeah, Hutchings won both. I guess Orakli was complaining on some missed elbow fouls on Todd. Yeah, it's always a banger, but if Orakli finally wins, he should let Todd be able to have a chance to get him back. Yeah, definitely. I think if Orakli wins, yeah, I would definitely like to see another match of them again. Even if Todd wins, if he wins for a third time, I still would like to see a fourth match down the road. You know what I mean? You got to think every time these guys face, they have more and more information about each other. They have, they can train differently. They can, there's a lot of factors that could change every time these guys face. So Brian says prime Bill Kazmaier would have been a crazy puller. He definitely would. He definitely would have. I would definitely. I know I think he's got some health problems going on right now. I've seen him on social media or something. But yeah, he would definitely be cool. Maybe we can arm wrestle for his old Thomas Inch dumbbell, because apparently the story goes is the one we were lifting in the labyrinth during practice yesterday. The story goes it used to be Bill Kazmaier's. That's the story. Let's see. I don't know what that abbreviation means. Those letters, I'm not sure what that means. Brian says, yeah, I'm a little under 154. Oh, good. Oh, Josh is saying I'm talking about you against Robert Oberst. Okay. Let's see. Oh, Obi. Oh, I see. You had to scroll up and just double check. Now I get it. Obi is Oberst. I get it. Brian says, yeah, Todd never plants his elbow, so he gets some pops. Yeah. That's what happens when, sometimes that's a side effect of, power, too much power. It's like a race car spinning its wheels, But speaking of those potentially missed elbow fouls, I think, I think there's a couple things that are, I think could definitely help. I think, how there's normally two referees for a super match. I think there needs to be 3 to 5 referees. If maybe that's too much. I could definitely see some people think that's too much. But how think of how baseball works with the umpires. Every umpire has their position. There's a head umpire. There's a first base. Every base has its own umpire. There's an outfield umpire. There's every person has a certain job, and they never leave that area. I think something like that would kind of help arm wrestling. We did a little bit something like that with the pay-per-view, the Dungeon Supermatch series on Stone TV under the memberships. We had 3 referees. Let's see. Josh says, bro, what was that taller, bald guy yesterday? What about him against a Georgian? David Nick Bats or something? What taller guy are you talking about? From yesterday at practice? Is that what you're talking about, Josh? The tall guy? Who was that tall, bald guy yesterday? Tall, bald guy yesterday. camera guy says yes. Um, I would think you. I mean, how tall? Oh, Mike. I was like trying to think of who's tall on the team. I mean, yeah, Mike's pretty tall. Um, yeah, Mike could be. Mike's definitely a good puller. I'm not sure who David Bats with 5 Z's is. Um, I'll have to look him up. Brian says, yeah, he's got a tricky style. He did good in the 176 at Tri-State. Yeah, he's definitely very tricky in a good way. He's got good technique. He can kind of pull it pretty much everywhere. Um, and Josh says he's a 154-pound puller. When he decides to cut, he is. But I think if he just feels like showing up, he'll show up at whatever and pull the 176. But yeah, he definitely, if when he gets down to 154, he's definitely a problem. He's definitely a problem. Because he's a pretty, I mean, he's a pretty big 154. You know, frame wise for that. For 154, he's not a small guy for 154. Which is good. Um, Brian says, yeah, we both like to walk around at about 165 pounds. That's good. I keep on trying to talk you guys into going up, but I must not be doing a good job. I keep on trying to talk everyone into going up a class, maybe even to the supers. It's fun in the supers. It's fun in the supers, but maybe one day. But we do have on our Tuesday team, the guys that come around Tuesday. I think the majority of the guys are walk around at that 165-pound, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. Just checking the. I remembered Drew's not here, but I actually remembered to bring. I got a tablet with me. So if anyone wants me to, oh, you know what? Maybe I could look up that the Veet guy Josh was talking about. But if there's any topics you guys want to talk about, arm wrestling, powerlifting, any videos I can watch, and then we could talk about them or something. Okay, cool. So let's see. That's the Facebook thing. It says Josh says that's Georgian. Brian says I think Will was the only true 176 we had. Yeah, definitely. I think so. I don't think he could have dropped any weight. I don't think. He's already extremely lean. But Josh says I put the link in the chat to the Facebook. Yeah, I'm gonna check it out. I'm pulling up the YouTube. Just got this. It's taking a little bit to load, but we'll get there. We'll get there. I'm trying to pull up the live. I pulled up a different video. Oh, let's see. What's that say? The Yeep guy 1 says hi. What's up, man? Josh says Devitt pulls a lot in Mac. Oh, then I must have seen something because I've seen, I watched some of those videos, All right, so now I just need to see if I can pull up the comments. Let's see. Brian says he is one of those Martha Vineyard Georgians. Oh, okay. Then maybe I've actually met him. Maybe I've seen him at a tournament. Some reason I can't on my tablet. I can't. There's no. I don't see an option to pull up the chat for some reason. Well, maybe there's something I'm missing. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything. Maybe if let's see. Yeah, some reason I don't have a chat option on my tablet. I mean, I know it's a super old tablet, so maybe. Oh, I know why. All right, so I can't. This tablet is old. It's too old. So the YouTube app, I have to. I have to go in. I can't use the app on that tablet for YouTube. I have to go in and use like a Google or something different that's not an app, and then go through the internet. So I think I'm just not signed in. So that's why I don't think I could pull up the chat because I'm not signed in as anybody. But I will check that out. I will definitely check that out. Josh says Philly. So maybe he's from Philly instead of Martha Vineyard. If that's what he's talking about. The Yeep guy says, I'm Wolfie. YouTube. I think YT stands for YouTube. All right. What's up, man? Welcome back. Brian says, oh, okay. I pulled a Kazakh guy in Philly who was strong as hell. He was like 130 pounds. I couldn't believe it. Philly got some smoke. Yeah, there's some strong dudes down in Philly. That's why I started making the trip down there, down south to Philly. But yeah, sometimes those practices get absolutely crazy in a good way with the people. And I think was it 3-4 weeks ago, there was a practice in Philly where I think there was like 20 guys, 25 guys, and I think at least 50% of the guys were if ranked in the top 15 or were ranked in the top 15 before taking a long break or something. But it was good. It was interesting. Sometimes when you get down there to Storms, it's just me, Storm, and another guy. But even those practices are real good. Let's see. What else can we talk about? Um, there's a whole bunch of stuff we can talk about. For example, arm wrestling stuff. If you like arm wrestling, you picked the right spot. Um, because on this channel we talk about arm wrestling stuff, a whole bunch of good stuff. Um, I was talking a little bit with Josh yesterday. This says Latimer polls on Sundays, so maybe one Sunday, the guys up here can make a trip down to Sean's, and get a practice over at Latimer's place. I think that could be cool. They get a great team down there. I've seen some of those practice videos. Looks like they get a full house. Some strong dudes. Plus, there's some good experience in there. You know what I mean? In terms of athletes have been training. But yeah, let me know if you guys have, if there's a Sunday coming up. I mean, I still gotta talk to Sean. I mean, before get permission before we just show up. The polite thing. Um, and those guys are always welcome to come up. If you guys want to come up and train Tuesdays and Saturdays, or even if you want to, get some heavy lifting in. I usually do Sundays, definitely a heavy lift day. Monday, Thursday. If I don't go to arm wrestling practice in mass on Wednesday becomes a heavy lift. And depending on how the training went, Friday could also be a heavy lift. Medium, probably more likely medium lift. But it varies on the table time and stuff like that. I try to get 3 table times a week, but I think I'm only gonna get 2. But we're still gonna try to get another one in. Brian says, "Yeah, I'm off Sundays, so that can work." Josh says, "It will be a great time, and Sean is a wealth of knowledge." I definitely agree. Sean's a pretty smart dude. Plus, he's got the power to back it up. So yeah, it should be interesting. I've only let's see. I've never practiced with Sean. I think I've had I think we've had 4 matches lefty, and I think only 1 match righty. I think. The first 2 matches we faced at Winter Blast, I think was 2022, maybe, or maybe I think it was 2022, maybe earlier. I think I was 2 to 3 years in the sport. I think Sean beat me left hand, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think it's 3. I think it was 3 years ago. Maybe it could be 4 though. It could be 4 years at this point. Um, and then the year after, it was at Winter Blast one year, and then the next Winter Blast, um, I showed up with, the year after. The only thing I really wanted to do is, get the payback back on Sean, because he beat me pretty. Once I got to the strap, he uh, he beat me pretty good. Looked like he had full control pretty much. Then the following year, I came in with a game plan, and also too, definitely have to say this. I think when I beat him was the beginning of some of the health problems and injuries. I do know he had a wrist injury or something was going on with his wrist, right hand, and something was. I know he wasn't 100%, but I think I got two. We only faced three times in that tournament. I think lefty twice. I think he got second lefty. So we faced first and then again in the finals, and then I think righty. I only pulled him once. We faced early, and then I don't remember if he dropped out because of injury or if someone got him, but I don't remember. I think Paul Cruz might have got him. I can't remember. But yeah, if you ever see Sean, ask him if what I said is the same way he remembers it. But I think it is. Um, let's see. Brian says, I think it was just you, him, and Pedro in the class that first time. Only pulled one arm, if I remembered, but not 100%. Yeah, the first time we faced, I only did left that day. Yeah, I only did left that day. Something was going on. I think I might have uh, popped one of the tendons in my finger. I think something was up. That might have been when I popped the tendon in my finger. But that was the Winter Blast where it I couldn't. That had to be like 20 hours or something like that because I got there. We did the tournament. Well, we did the tournament. They did left first. I remember I got lucky because if I did right, I would have been in a position that Ryan Turner, he only did right. He had a left injury, so he only did right. So I think I finished up the tournament around like 9 p.m. Something, and they didn't even start the right hand yet. So by the time I was leaving at 9 p.m., Ryan was there all day waiting for right hand to start, and I mean maybe I'm exaggerating, but I think it was like 9 p.m. is when I left, and Ryan they didn't even start the right hand, so that must have been a long day, especially if you were righty only. But I do remember that. Let's see. Yeah, that first time we pulled was in that little time. I mean, it wasn't tiny, but we had so many people. Remember, all the people were packed like shoulder to shoulder, like a can of sardines. I remember that. And the second one was at the hotel, so it was a bunch of space. Let's see. Josh says I'll probably see him Sunday. Yeah, let me know if he remembers it the same way. Brian says, yeah, it was your finger. Yeah, couldn't remember what it was, but it's this one. This one is. I definitely know it was this one I popped. But it tends to, I grew back like a lizard. That missing some range of motion, but it's coming back. We'll be back eventually. Let's see. Brian says, yeah, we left early. It was crazy. Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot. We drove. That was when we took the Chrysler down, and right when we started getting the highway, we had that crazy misfire. But then after that one time, it was good. But yeah, that was just because the spark plugs were very old. I didn't change them for a long time. But Brian says we got back after midnight. Okay. And so I mean, maybe what was it, like a 4-hour drive? So maybe we finished up around 8 p.m. maybe. Left, but yeah, I can't remember how. It was at least 3 hours. I know that. So maybe 8, 9 is when we finished left. Um, yeah, that's interesting. More lemon seeds. So Josh says, really? No description? What did we talk about, Nick? Question mark. LOL. Oh, whoops. You're right. I might have forgot something. But I do remember now with that friendly reminder. I do remember. But yeah, I can go back and I can put them in. I think it will still be. I think I can go and put those hashtags in there. But I appreciate that because I needed those. I need those friendly reminders once in a while to keep me honest and remembering stuff. But I'll remember eventually. Took me a while to remember to grab my tablet. Drew kept on he had a good idea to set up. I think it was Drew. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it could be multiple people too. To set up a tablet, so this little tablet thing. But I can't see the comments. Actually, maybe I could sign on real quick. There may not be a. Let's see. Oh, let's see. I don't know. I think it took me back to the app. Yeah, so I have to. This tablet is the software is too old. It took me back to when I went to go sign in. It took me back to the app, and then this is what it tells me. This little thing right here. So I can't check the comments on this thing. Maybe there's a way. But Josh says you can, I believe. Yeah, I think I can in the studios. I can put those the hashtags in there and stuff. Southern Maine arm wrestler. What's up, man? What's up? Says gotta get me a Team Stone hat. Oh, that's awesome. I think that's a good idea. I don't have any Team Stone hats right now for sale. Something we can do is we can do a pre-order. I think with hats are tricky. I mean, you can get like real those cheap hats, but I don't like those hats. Those mesh open hat back hats. If I'm gonna get a hat, it's gonna be something that I personally would like to wear every single day because I think that like the hat that I have, this is it's a some people may not like them. I like them. It's the like the flex fit hats, the there's no hole in the back. It's the same material all the way around. So I think it's good. It's good for it's comfortable, but it's also good for for lifting, for arm wrestling, for powerlifting. You know, the type of like material that the hat is with the closed back and the full material all around. I mean, it will keep the sweat out of your eyes. You know what I mean, kind of thing. Um, to a certain point, and then if you get too much, um, you know, the hat will still drip, but it will drip from from this part of the hat, so it will still be away from your eyes. So that's another reason why I like those type of hats. Um, let's see. Josh says I have a list of shit I'm going to bring up to you, even a tablet. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. I definitely appreciate that. That definitely helps out a lot. I think I said in the beginning, but Josh, he gave me a super nice microphone set. Um, I'm definitely gonna use it. Right now with well, I'm doing it in the car, so it's on the steering wheel. I can't plug it in because the port is in the bottom. But when I'm in the, I'm gonna mess around in the gym. When I'm in the gym, I'll be able to set it up, and once the plug's in, my phone's a little busted. If you've been watching, it still works, but I gotta get something new soon. But yeah, it does work, so we'll get something up there. But I definitely appreciate that, Josh. That's definitely appreciated. Southern Maine says, I am naked without my hat, so durability is important. Then he says, Southern Maine says, I'm also a sweaty MF. LOL. Oh, good. So that's what happened. We're in the same boat. That's why I like these hats. The only problem, they're just very, very expensive. Um, it's been a while since I've gone and looked at them, but actually not too long. I looked at them. I was comparing the price of the hats I like versus like the hats most people use, which they're definitely way cheaper. I think the price of hats were like $10 to $15 a piece. You know, if you buy a certain amount, and I think these hats were 20 to 25 a piece. So that's another thing too is I think we'll definitely have to do a pre-order if we do hats. Um, One thing I was thinking about with the hats is I'm not sure how it'll work, but the karate, how karate and judo they have the karate belts and judo belts. The colors represents different levels or certain amount of time in the sport or something. I was thinking something like that with the hats. Different colors, um, meaning certain things. Like for instance, I mean, I'm not. It's not set in stone, but um, one thing I was thinking is like if you're not, you know, 100, like if you're not exact, like if you're not on the team or on like the practice, you're not regularly on the team Tuesdays, Saturdays. You know, there's only certain there's only going to be certain colors of hats that you'll be able to buy. The other hats you will have to earn, if that makes sense. Um, um, but I think it's a cool idea. I think it's a cool idea. Like I'm not really sure what colors, but say for instance, Like there might be one color that you could buy no matter what, which it will might be white or something. But yeah, it could be anything. Josh says, anytime, boss. Appreciate that. So the main says, dude, color coding the hats for experience is a fucking awesome idea. Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah, I think it could be a lot. I think it could be cool too. A lot of fun. Plus, it could potentially stop some of those trophy hunters. Because if they're wearing certain colors, they definitely won't be allowed in novice, amateur, semi-pro classes. So their main says, if you come up with it, you'll be the first. Do it up. No, I appreciate that. I actually, I can't remember who sparked that idea. They were talking about something else. Maybe they were talking about like straps or something. It was something arm wrestling related to do the same thing. And it just so happened that, I got a red hat, and that made me think, we could just do hats. Even arm wrestling, the famous movie Over the Top, it's like a switch, turn the hat backwards. We got a special rule where, you can't wear your hat this way. You have to wear it backwards at the arm wrestling table. But yeah, I think it could be cool too. Laurel says, good morning. What's up? What's up? Thanks for watching. That camera guy says, pink for novice. That could be something. That could be something. The only thing tricky with pink is if we do red, a faded in red might look like a novice. Well, I guess that could be a trap. You know what I mean? The super faded in red hats. With the. So I was thinking about red being. I don't know how, but red will be one of the top ones. Just but I'll have to. Because I got a couple red hats. I'll have to. I can't go too high with it because otherwise I may not be able to wear the hat anymore. But pink for novice, that could be something. Maybe maybe a white hat, and on the back it says, like those learning drivers. It says, "How's my driving?" On the back it says, "How's my driving?" It says, "How's my arm wrestling?" ? I'm new. Be patient with me, kind of thing. That could be cool. That could be funny. Brian says, original team member color. Yeah, it could be it. That could be it. Maybe red could be that color. You have to be on the team to be able to get a red hat, maybe, something like that. I mean, I'm definitely open to ideas. So if you guys have any ideas, definitely let me know. Josh says, exactly a trap. Ryan says, LOL. Josh says, a shirt that says, wanna hold hands? ? That could be something. You're gonna have to put something on the back that says, arm wrestling, not, something like hold hands on the table. I don't know, something like that. Something to, front will look like you're just asking to hold hands with a stranger, but on the back it'll be a quick explanation. No, I don't want to hold hands with you. What do you mean you want to hold hands? Just what I mean arm wrestle. Maybe it could be something funny like that. Let's see. Well, I guess the only thing I can, well, there's probably more I can do with this tablet, but I can't because my phone's busted. I can check the time. Looks like we've been on for like almost an hour and a half, hour 26 minutes. Yeah, it's a good one. It's a good one. Brian says, quotations, arm breakers, anonymous. I tell you what, you know who needs that shirt? Bill needs that shirt, you know, because that's how we got the nickname Break 'em Bill. But Bill has to be the first one. He may not wear it because he's a nice guy, but he might wear it. He might wear it. Josh says 2 hands gripped up on back in a stone strap. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. That's actually a great idea. That's a great idea. Something super simple, quick, but it tells people that you're an arm wrestler. And they got a good strap on there. That Team Stone strap is pretty good. And if you guys want, we do have Team Stone. I don't have any on me, but we have a Team Stone strap. These are first edition Team Stone straps. So these are going to be the only. The next edition, there will be modifications. I've been getting people's feedback. But if you want the first edition Team Stone straps, we still have some left. But these are going to be, there's only one of 100. There's only going to be 100 of these straps made. The next straps will have changes, modifications. The straps itself are kind of like those lion straps. The material is the same, kind of like those lion straps. The buckle's a little different. But we haven't had a single strap break yet. Nothing has nothing has malfunctioned yet. Brian says, Bill, he's been skipping meetings. LL. Yeah, it definitely shows. It definitely shows he's been skipping the meetings. You know, he's been real mean and at practice. I'll wait for you to get into a real bad position, and then I'll slam you. Try to break something. You know, he must be a little addicted to the sound of bone snapping. It's a very unique sound, and he might be addicted to it. He's chasing the high. But sometimes it happens at practice. Sometimes you have those people, you just gotta either get stronger or you break. Those are your only two options. More lemon seeds, in case you're wondering. Let's see. So we'll probably be on for like another 5-10 minutes, maybe something like that. If you guys have any questions, let me know. If you guys, let's see. I don't know if I said this yet. I probably didn't, but if I didn't, don't forget there's a pay-per-view on this channel. Not just any pay-per-view. It's the first ever Dungeon Super Match Series. 9 incredible matches in the dungeon. Only one place to watch them. That is this channel, Stone TV. Under memberships. If for some reason you don't have memberships on your phone, it means your phone doesn't have the software for YouTube, so you're gonna have to use a desktop or a laptop. But I definitely recommend getting the pay-per-view. We'll also be putting other videos so if you're a member, we'll also be putting other videos up on there. So if there's anything, if you're a member already, if there's anything you want to see on the memberships videos, exclusive membership videos, let me know. Let me know what you want to see. Also, too, if you become a member, as long as you are currently a member to Stone TV's YouTube memberships, you will get a 5% discount on all Team Stone merchandise. So keep that in mind. As well as that goes for coaching services as well. So that's in-person coaching, also online through FaceTime, stuff like that. So the main says later, Nick. Chat. See ya. The old what's this thing mean? What's that name for this the Hawaiian thing? What's the name for that? He says, have a good day and stay yoked. Thank you very much, man. Have a good day. You stay yoked as well. Being yoked it's a good thing. It's a good thing to have, Especially if you ever get into a car accident, you probably if you're yoked, you have a bigger neck probably. And that might save you one day, a big, fat, thick neck might save you one day. It might hurt you you may not be able to sleep and breathe, but if you go through a windshield, that fat neck might help you. But let's see. But yeah, I could definitely. I don't feel. I mean, I feel sore definitely, but I think I'm gonna be more sore tomorrow. Like the muscles and tendons and everything. From last night's was definitely the hardest on Tuesday. It's definitely the hardest I've gone on Tuesday in a long time, which was great. I think mostly, like my nervous system is the most tired, probably, which is good. I can definitely notice it because I'm kind of like dragging along, but that's no excuse. We gotta get some training in. We're gonna start training very soon. Just finishing up the last of the homemade pre-workout. More lemon seeds. There's always lemon seeds at the end. Let's see. Brian says, yeah, I haven't practiced hits in forever. Figured something out last night, which is good. Oh, good. If I'm wrong, maybe I'm not gonna say it because maybe you want to keep it a secret, but I think I know what you're talking about, and I think maybe I'm wrong, but I think the stuff that we were talking about kind of clicked. Maybe you're talking about something different, but yeah, definitely the hits felt way better. Josh says, you mean Bang, right? Yes, I do mean Bang. Bang it's a nice energy drink, very nice energy drink. I'd probably have one. I just don't happen to have. My car is down right now, so if Bang is watching and they're interested in sponsoring, I'm definitely open to discussion. But if they were smart, I think they would, But let's see. Brian says, yeah, you got it. What we were talking about. Yeah, definitely definitely felt way better. It felt like more of a hit. Definitely felt like more of a hit instead of kind of like a jam position. For more of like a nice solid hit. Um, but let's see. Brian Johnson. Perfect time. It says hello, Earthings. Sunny northern New York here. Checking in. My midweek work. All right. What's up, Brian? You know, we're just about to hop off, but I tell you what, this live was pretty fun. So, you know, feel free to start it over at the beginning, or but I don't know if you saw, we had a bunch of lives yesterday too. We had a professional setup. Josh brought his professional camera over. So I say definitely check out yesterday's lives. Um, there's like 5 or 6 hours of stuff to check out. If I'm not mistaken, maybe I know practice was like 2.5. The recovery workout was like 30 minutes. The pre-lift live was like over an hour. Lab and tour. We did a lab and tour. I think that was like 15, maybe 20 minutes, maybe something like that. So we got a bunch of film out there. If you guys want to check it out, there's some fun stuff. Some cool stuff. Some crazy hard training. We even lift. People tried to lift the Thomas Inch dumbbell. You got to see if we lifted it or not. That's you have to watch the video. If you want to fast forward, it's like an hour and a half, 2 hours into the practice video. But yeah, some good stuff. Definitely check that out. But I think that's it for me, guys. I think I'm gonna head in the gym, get ready to train. Gonna do some chest and some triceps, maybe some core work. But yeah, guys, I appreciate you watching. Thanks everyone for commenting and liking and everything. Oh, Josh says, "Whoop whoop whoop! No fast forwarding. You'll miss too much." Very true. Very true. Good call. Good call, Josh. But I was thinking once they saw those Thomas Inch dumbbells, they'd be hooked and they'd go right back to the beginning to see what led up to that moment. But I think, you're probably better off just watching it from the beginning and just, watching it the way it happened, the way it was filmed live. You might feel more in the moment that way. But I appreciate it, guys. Thank you very much, everyone that watched and everyone that helped out with the comments and the likes. And we will see. Maybe I'll record the recovery lift tonight. Maybe I'll do that live. But it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. Josh says, "Don't fight it, just let it happen." That's what I'm talking about. But all right, guys. Thank you very much, and we will see you next time.